Hello everyone, we are now live. This is Quarantine Fitness and Life, episode 3 we've got to. Just waiting on our guest to join and then we can get cracking. There we go, our guest is here, so I'll just share his screen. There's the man.
Hey, hello, good sir. How are you?
I am good, despite all the craziness in the world, which we will be talking about. But yeah, how are you doing today?
But I'm good. I tell you what, my life's fantastic. I'm in an unbelievable space right now. I've got a good family downstairs. We just had a barbecue. Life is exceptional. I have to say, you look great in your photo as well, my friend. Your physique, is that a competition you did or just a photo shoot?
That was literally like this week. That's like, yeah, that's basically that's why I'm right now.
Wow, impressive.
I'm just doing a cut to show just how I am basically, you know.
Yeah. Help inspire other people. Hopefully do the same stuff, yeah?
Well, that's the name of this game. So everyone, thank you for joining us so far. So this, as I said before, is episode 3 of Quarantine Fitness and Life. So this is basically a platform that I created to sort of like help people understand how to sort of like improve on their physical fitness during these quarantine times, but not just talk about physical fitness, but just being in quarantine in general and how it's affecting us and just ways that we can sort of get around things from boredom to being anxious about the situation. This is just a platform so we can chat about all these stuff and hopefully help you guys through it. So today I've got my good friend here, Aaron Phillips, who this is the first time he's been on my channel. So before we start, I just want him to just give a brief introduction to who he is, where he lives and what he does. So on you go.
Okay. Well, great introduction. Okay, so hi everyone, hope you're well and happy Easter to you all. Hope you had a good afternoon and a great weekend. And my name's Aaron Phillips. I own a company called FitStart UK. We are a female body transformation program. And we specialize in basically taking people through radical 90-day body transformations where we basically teach them how to completely radically change their habits, going through a very specific program using mindset, food, and fitness. We take them through a behavioral change where we basically take control of their life for them and help them create the disciplines in their life where they get amazing results. And what happens is we normally work with women that are ranged between sort of like anywhere between 20 to kind of 45. We basically show them a radical transformation so they actually fall in love with fitness because of the result that they get. And we just so happen to have a really, really cool, unbelievably beautiful studio in Watford where we play pumping house music and we make people feel unbelievably good. And I've just finished doing an app and a TV show. So I just finished off the stuff that's going to be released for next year and finished doing an app just recently with a lady called Alexandra Kane who was on Love Island last year. We just did a really cool app for her, which is her body transformation app where I taught, she's on my profile actually, I think, as well. Yeah, and it's been great. And obviously met you through a good friend today. So really excited to try and share the wealth and the health with people and try and help in some ways. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, brilliant introduction there. So yep, so I hope you guys can really see from the energy that Aaron has there and also the knowledge that he has in terms of fitness, how this will hopefully help us sort of get through these times and give us some good sort of insights as to what we can do. So sort of in that, I mean, what have you sort of really been doing to sort of like keep yourself physically active whilst we've had this sort of like lockdown situation?
So I'm going to captivate you for a moment and just ask to borrow your imagination and just I'll take you on a small little journey because this has got me to a place.
Go for it.
And I am in, and don't exaggerate this, I'm in the best place I have ever been. I mean, I've got myself into a position using a formula, using a step-by-step process, something really simple that for a lot of stress and duress that I went through because my gym got closed. I own a physical gym. You know, I've got trainers, employees, you know, we've got hundreds of women that come to our studio. And I got the phone call when I was in India, in Rishikesh. I was at the International Yoga Festival. And I got the phone call, say, Aaron, there's a virus. I hadn't heard anything about it. Your doors in your studio is going to be closed. And I had an investment for just over $500,000 going through for my business. I had a check for 250 grand that I was getting paid personally for buying with a gentleman with my company because he wanted to scale my brand. and take it forward. And I got the phone call to say that was happening. He pulled out, so I lost the money on that. The doors got closed. I then took everyone outside. We got told we can't group train outside, so then had to persevere. And the stress and the monumental overwhelm and overload of external factors that were affecting me, for example, like the coronavirus and like other people and the careers and the furloughs and everything else that was going on, meant that I got myself, like a lot of people right now, into such a position where it was like, I have to do something very, very, very differently. If I'm going to get out of this situation and not even just like do all right. I mean, I've survived. I had a very, very tough upbringing. So I knew what it was like to have no fucking money. I knew what it was like to live on digestive biscuits. I knew what it was like to get bought secondhand clothes at school. So I've been through hardship. I've made my success because of my hunger. And this challenge... This external thing that just happened to me, my friends, was like I had to really change the way that I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Because the stress of what was going on around me got me into a position where if I did not, you get two options here, everyone. If I did not choose to either change the way that I was thinking, I was going to end up becoming like every person that I'd heard about that was stressing about, that was watching the telly, being depressed, getting overwhelmed, and going through some real hardships unnecessarily so. So I was in India. I got the phone call, and I got the guy that was going to buy into my company as well called me up and said, his name was Mr. Neil. What a great name, Harry. He goes, Aaron, I've pulled away from the sale, from the investment, and so I lost 250 grand as a purse pocket. That really sucked. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. And there was all these challenges going on, and I was in the International Yoga Festival, where I don't know if you heard of Prince EA. He's an influencer. He does all the videos. Have you heard of Prince EA before? No, I haven't. Check him out. You'll know him when you see him, but 100%. Yeah. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who's a cell biologist within nutrition. He does a lot of stuff coaching on fitness. And I've got the world's spiritual leaders with me, my friends. I mean, I was in the most zenest place you could ever be. And I was meditating. I've just got into meditation and yoga. It's a very beautiful way to align yourself and bring awareness into your life. And I was still majorly stressed out. And I had to change something radical. I believe if you're ever going to make big transformations like you've done, my good sir, if you're ever going to really make a massive change as to your circumstances, you have to do big things. You have to radically transform your behavior. Yep. And sometimes, and the problem that I found, my friend, and this is going to relate to everyone on the call today, or everyone who listens to this, right? If you're in a position where you're stressed out and you're pissed off, or you don't know how to get yourself out of this situation because your thinking is not allowing you to get forward, if you're in that position, sometimes you can't think your way out of it. There's only a certain amount of thinking that you can do to try and radically transform the way that you act. What I found is I had to do the opposite to that. I had to do the very opposite to thinking, because my thinking was absolutely fucked. It was not good. I wasn't thinking good. I had a lot of external factors going on. So I decided to try and reverse it. I thought, well, what if I act? What if I take massive action as opposed to massive thinking? Because the thinking wasn't really happening. Yeah. And I woke up the next morning, and I hate running. Absolutely hate it. Never liked it. And I jumped out of bed on the first alarm. I then went for a run. I had a pint of water as I normally do. And I went for a run. And I ran for like 30 minutes. And I ran as hard as I could because I hated running so much. Mm-hmm. And then I came back and had a freezing cold shower. And what that did for me, and this is what I think every person on the planet needs right now, is simple steps. They don't need some elusive 6-month fucking esoteric course on meditation or yoga or anything. They just need that. I'm stressed out. I don't feel good. How do I solve the problem right now? Give me something give me something simple that actually has an impact immediately, so I don't go through every single day struggling. And this is it. And if you look at any successful, I've always worked in sales. I had a sales company. I've always worked. My background has always been sales predominantly, but there's methods of success when you look at who's at the very top of their game in terms of performance, and it all comes down to the very way you start your day. Yeah. Like the habits and the routine that you start, and everyone starts, and I start, the very first thing that you do at the very beginning of the day sets the psychological foundation for how you move forward. And I'd never heard of this before. As much as I've been in this the whole way through, I'd never heard of this, but I was in a situation where I was just about to lose a £500,000 business. Yeah. And if I did not change something radically, and radical transformations only occur when you're in a better state, when your state, which is broken down into two things, And I don't know if you know, if you've heard of this before, but your state is comprised of your mental and your physical well-being. So your physical and your mental, that comprises your state, and then we make decisions compounded off of that. So at a time when everyone's so stressed out and duressed and they're stuck at home and they can't leave the house and they've got a partner they potentially really don't get on with, and now they're stuck in a room with them, or they've got kids that they're trying to provide for, and they've also got a business that's failing, or whatever it is. Well, the only thing that people can do is they can only control what they're doing, not what's going on around it. Yeah. And that's where the Sunrise Challenge comes in. That's where people should be getting up very beginning of the day, beat the alarm, wake yourselves up, have a pint of water, go for a run, change your physical and chemical state, have a freezing cold shower, and every decision that you make off the back of that will be 200% more effective, more productive, more happy, and more energized. And then I saw you had a lovely lady here on yesterday that was talking about nutrition.
Yeah. Pepper, yeah.
Always start with the steak first. You know, if you've got a bad diet and you're struggling with your diet, well, it's not that you've got a bad diet, you've just got bad habits.
Yeah.
If you're trying to earn more money, it's not that you need to earn more money, you just need to have better financial habits. It all comes down to the formation of habits, which is pivoted off the point of how you start your day, because the foundation psychology of when you do everything is predetermined. The moment you get out of bed, if you jump out of bed and you attack the day and you smash the first alarm and you have a pint of water, wake up your second brain, you go for a run, you release endorphins, they're 200 times stronger than morphine, so you're on a natural chemical high for a minimum of 4 to 5 hours of the day. Every decision that you make moving forward on that day is going to be 200% more happier, productive and effective, because you've developed the science of achievement before you even got out of bed. And that's the only thing that I think people should be doing right now. To set their day up to start with, set their day up correct, give themselves that opportunity to get themselves into the best state, and then attack life. Everything's a lot easier. Yeah.
And really, from what you've said there, it comes down to, I'll try and encapsulate this into a little nice phrase for people. Failing to plan is planning to fail. So It comes back to what Aaron said there about with habits. If you start your day by sleeping in, and then when you do get up, you're still in your PJs, and you're still in your PJs for about an hour and you lounge around, how are you really going to get to where you want to be if that is what your starting day is? Whereas if you try and get yourself up, have that pint of water, as Aaron said, he says go for a run, but even if it's just that you just do one task, so let's say it's even just make your bed, or that you take your dog out for a walk, or that you actually just do some exercise. Once you've done that one task, you've succeeded in something in the day, and off the back of that, that is where you can actually be more mentally aware to make other successful choices through your day. So that's really is that pretty much the idea of what you're sort of talking about?
It's 4 simple things, and I'll back it up. I'm actually becoming spiritual. I've never been spiritual in my life, right? But I went to India because I needed to change the game internally. What a better place to go with the origin of... I went into the Himalaya mountains where the Rishikesh is for the International Yoga Festival. Beautiful thing, right? Let me give you some context around what I'm talking about, because what I always wanted to know is it science? Can you back it up? Is it tangible? Because if I can't touch it and I can't feel it with my 5 senses, there's a massive disbelief in whether it's real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here we go. What happens when we wake up in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, your mind is basically designed to protect you. We already know this, right? It's typical stuff, right? But it does that based on memory. Now, the memories that you currently have, let's just say, for example, we've got people on the line here, like Emily, for example. Hey, everyone, Kirsty, Andy, hello, everyone. Right, to all of you amazing people, when you wake up in the morning, let's just say, for example, just an example, you've got a really, really stressful life right now. So you wake up in the morning, and your brain's going back over all the stressful things you've got going on. For example, you've just been furloughed, or you've got a business like me, or you've got a staff like me, or you've got children. And you wake up in the morning and all you've got is the stress of having to failure, getting that wrong, debts coming through, problems coming through. And all your memory does is it wakes up and it goes, right, here's a list of all the issues that we have going on right now. So if that's where you wake up, no wonder you don't want to get out of bed. And I've been there with multiple businesses. So it isn't something I'm preaching from a hierarchy position. This is fucking fact. This is science. It's backed up. And I'll give you a couple of good links afterwards. A guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza, amazing guy. I don't know if you know him at all. He's a cell biologist from the States. Now, when you wake up, your brain is only referring back to the past. Now, let's just take diet, for example, with the lady that you had on yesterday. Well, you've got a lot of people on here that probably want to tackle their diet, right? But diet is very simply a representation of people's habits.
Exactly.
Absolutely, right. And you'll know this more than anyone. Look at the size of you. You look fucking fantastic, right? But diet is a representation of the decisions that have been made. And what we do is we make our decisions based off of the state of how we feel.
Exactly.
Morning, yeah, right. If we wake up in the morning and all we feel is crap because of all the stuff we've got going on at the moment, then automatically our day, our foundation of our days that we set up is going to be very hard. We're not going to make amazing decisions, right? We're just not going to do it. I mean, we might try and be happy or positive, but that is a lot of hard work if you're not coming from an authentic place. You can't wake up and go, oh, I'm going to be happy today. What I need is something tangible. Like, how do I change the game like now? Give me something practical. Yeah. So what happens when you wake up is your brain then goes through all of the problems that you currently have going on. It stacks it up because your brain is designed to protect you. So it mitigates risk. That's what it's been designed to do over 2 million years. And what it does initially is it mitigates risk for you. What's the stress? How do we get away from it? And this is where laziness and unhelpful habits come in. Now, in the morning, I was waking up every day and I'm like, right, I've got to do that. I've got to do this. You might be feeling like this, right? You might be feeling like this, my man. Wake up, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Oh, I haven't paid that bill, I've got to do that. You're making to-do lists, you're not keeping up with them. You've got kids screaming in the background, you've got employees, you've got stresses going on, you've got market changes, you've got Boris going down with the flu. Everything that's going on outside of you at the moment is very stressful. So the only thing that you can actually do is take control of the internal dialogue. But how do you do that? Because that's really elusive and like esoteric and like, okay, Aaron, great, fucking great. That's like saying be positive. And this is what everyone's talking about. Be positive, be happy. Yeah, but what, how? Tell me, because I'm not happy right now because I just lost my business. My kids are stressing me out. I've got a guy in the house that I'm married to that I don't want to be with, whatever. I don't know. Everyone's got stresses going on. The only way that I've found, and I'm getting so much impact with people with this, I've got people ringing me every day, and I've never felt like I'm on such the right track as I do right now. I've got people ringing me saying, Aaron, I'm so much happier. My partner has now asked me if she can join me and do the Sunrise Challenge. Aaron, thank you. This has changed my life. Aaron, my diet is not an issue anymore because I'm getting myself out of bed every single day and I'm actually taking control of my day. And the way it works is, as I said, your brain represents images and words in your mind. It mitigates risk. The moment you wake up, you're thinking about all the things that have gone in the past. So the key is, how do you create, at a time when you're the most stressed, how do you create an opportunity for you to be at your very best every single day, regardless of what's going on around you? And the only way that you can do that, I can do that, any human, because this is science, it's nothing spiritual or elusive. The only way that we can do that is if when we wake up in the morning, we create a new future by doing new things. And the best way to get your state, which is your mental and your physical state, is to exercise. But you get up, you beat the brain. Get up on the first alarm. Why? Because if you beat the brain, you're already challenging your conscious, which is admittedly lazy, right? Every person that wakes up in the morning always has that thought, oh, just take 5 minutes. Or, oh, it doesn't mean to do that. And the problem with that is that sets the presidency for your behavioral traits. That's not, you don't just do that with the alarm clock. You do that with everything. You second guess everything. So this is how
it's just a representation.
And it's a habit. It's a formation of psychological blueprint that you build for yourself that then you pivot every decision on. So how do you change that? Well, you take massive action. You jump out of bed. When I say jump, check out a lady called Mel Robbins. Have you heard of her before?
No, I haven't heard of her.
Probably doesn't run in social circles, but she's Mel Robbins. Check her out, the 5-second rule. And it's the science of how your brain works in terms of operating. And it normally takes 5 seconds for someone to jump out of a decision. So you jump out 5 seconds, boom, have a pint of water, wake up your organs. That tells your brain it's time to wake up. Run. So you release the endorphins. The endorphins are 200 times stronger than morphine. Then have a freezing cold shower. And then plan your day after you've done that. And if you do this as an experiment, if you plan your day after that, what you'll find is because of the chemical state change in your brain, you feel unbelievable. You feel absolutely at your very best. And all your decisions as a byproduct, they then follow suit. How? I can back it up because I've now flipped my whole company we've hardly lost any clients. We're adding so much more value because the way that I'm feeling, the way that I'm looking at things. And this all comes down to the very simple basics of how you start your day. And if you do that, if you can gain control of your beginning of your day and the end of the day with the information that goes in and how you drive yourself, you set the presidency for the amount of success that you have and anyone has. So there you go.
Yeah. So really, ultimately, what I sort of draw from that is that it comes down to, if anyone wants to get a change, they need to have a formulated type of structure. And what you've got there is your structure for success. For you, is waking up on the first alarm, getting that pint of water down, getting that exercise, and then you basing your decisions from a high operational state, or just really a state where you're feeling energized and are able to make the right decisions. And anyone, regardless of what situation they're in, it's about having a structure that allows them to succeed. I mean, the reason that, say, I'm in the shape I'm in, the reason that I can get my clients in the shape they're in, the reason that people are successful in their businesses, whatever, is because they've got a structure that they follow. And the key really to success is not really to try to actually recreate the wheel. It's just actually understanding how to use the wheel. It's all been created already for you. All we need to do is just follow in that footsteps, you know? And I think that's where people really, when they want to get a change, they look at it as too daunting. But what you've just said is really, it's just a case of actually just learning to use, I suppose, the phrase of me using the wheel, it's just learning actually how to drive. Like, let's use driving as an example, because a lot of people on this will be able to drive. Driving to most people now, it probably isn't difficult because they've been doing it for so long, but I'm pretty sure when they were doing their lessons, it probably didn't come easy to everyone. But they persevered in it. Why? Because they wanted to learn to drive, because they wanted that freedom. So it's about having the right structure. So the structure was to learn how to drive, learn the highway code, get the knowledge, keep on practicing so they're ready to take that test. And when they get that test and when they pass, they still need to learn the rules of the road to feel comfortable to drive themselves. But they've been armed with the tools and knowledge of how to drive to do that for themselves. But that process is no different to like you starting your business as a PT, me doing my business as a PT, anyone doing anything that they want in life, be it to write a blog, be it to get in better shape, be it to start their own business. The process is the same. I mean, is that something you agree with?
Do you know what? I think what I've got into there, I like to demystify things because, you know, when I actually got offered a new business opportunity with a guy in Canada called Gaurav, and he was working with a guy who trains online personal trainers. Basically, he's asked me to go into business with him so I can teach online trainers how to make £5,000 to £10,000. And I went through the sales process. And I'm going to read you a little story here because I love to demystify things. And what happened in the sales process that he gave me is they had this amazing sales process where you can convert 50% of your clients by helping them transform their bodies. And they gave them a sheet. The sheet's here. This was the master sales course, right? And he talked a little bit about it. And it was really elusive because I needed something tangible that was live. I wanted like a live video. Teach me how to do it properly. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because when we talk about like the car and stuff like that, that's great. But again, that's really, it's hard for people to put that into practical terms for them. And what we got to try and do is, I think as fitness professionals across the board, is just really keep things as uber simple as possible. And everything that, just for every person listening, the simplicity of what we're trying to achieve for you tonight is to help you understand that wherever you are and where you want to get to, there is the process is the same, but it comes down to one simple fact, and it's habits. When do you start your habits? They start every fucking morning the moment you jump out of bed. And the reason I want to say this to you, make it really clear for you, because you've got an opportunity right now, a very small window of opportunity where you can actually focus yourself. You can actually work on developing yourself. And whether it's nutrition with the lady you spoke to yesterday, whether it's my man here who looks like an Adonis and you want to build muscle, whether it's me with the Sunrise Challenge where you just want to get fitter and in a better state mentally, it all comes down to you're only going to change when you want to change the identity of the person that you are.
You are, yep.
So we're all living out the identity. So, for example, let's say like a lot of people that I meet, because I work with fat loss transformations, and you do the same, right? Or you build muscle. We work with in fitness, same concept, same problem. People always say, "Oh, I can't stop eating bad food.
Yeah.
I don't like the way I look in the mirror. I always fail. I always get things wrong. I'm never consistent." Is the biggest one.
Consistent is the word, exactly.
We're never
consistent and habit are basically the same thing.
It's that identity that you're bringing up with yourself at the moment, which is the roadblock, which is why you can't move forward. It's the roadblock. So here's my advice to you. Just keep it super simple with loads of love, right? If you want to change anything in your life right now, first and foremost, you need these three things. And let's make it really practical. Number one, you've got to get absolutely fundamentally clear, crystal clear, absolutely crystal clear about what the goal is.
Yes, yeah.
When you have clarity in your mind, everything becomes simple. So number one, you've got to have clarity on what it is that you want to achieve. Like, if you want to build muscle and look like an Adonis, you go to my man. If you want to learn how to feel great in the mornings and make better decisions, you come to Aaron. But either way, you've got to know what success looks like to you as an individual before anything else. So when you've got the number one thing, goal, you've then got clarity. And then energy's irrelevant. It's not a push, because you're pulled towards it. Number two, you've then got to have and find, and this is where a coach will come in, you've got to get a clearly articulated plan that has already been proven to reach those goals. So you've got to find someone that's a master of that trade that can take you from A to B with a plan. So number one is the goal, yeah? And number two is the plan. And the third thing you've got to find, and this is the hardest thing to find, you've got to have the right level of support. And the support system comes from two places. It doesn't just come from your coach. It also comes from you. The internal driver, your self-coaching, your self-evaluation, your self-mentoring is the identity that you're trying to break out of to get to. So you need goal, plan, support. Now, when you have those three things aligned, the next part to that, and this is something, I'm just making this up as I go, it's just from my head. The next part, to make this really practical for you, the next part that you need to get to anything you want, any financial goal, business goal, aspirational goal, the next thing you need to do is one thing. And this is my innate belief, and I love being challenged if you feel differently about this, but this is the way that I see the world right now. You just need to form a set of habits that are all aligned with that goal that you do every fucking day. And notice I say every day, not off on a Sunday, like most people aren't working at the moment. I've got a barbecue full of people at the moment going, "Aaron, why are you working on a Sunday?" And I'm like, well, that's the difference between me and you. And that's the reason why I feel so great. And that's the why every day I jump out of bed, because, every day is the same day for me. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday or a Sunday. But you do it
because you're drawn to it, because you're doing this because you want, and that is the key thing with what you're saying. Because let's say when it comes to fitness, if someone wants to get in shape and they go, "I'm not motivated to do this," then it shows there's something not aligned. Because for someone like me, I'm not being in the shape, and I'm not doing this because of motivation. I'm doing it because I want the goal that's set. But as you said, if you don't have the clear goal at the start, then what are you really chasing towards? But then not just if you've got not if you've got the goal, but if you don't have the action or the plan to get there, then no wonder you're not motivated, because you don't know how to get there properly. So all these things have to come aligned. So that's why those three things you talked about, being the goal, be it the plan, and be it the support of either a coach or yourself, or both of these things. That is why that 3-step method that you said there, that is why that's such a great encapsulation of not only fitness, but any other endeavour someone wants in life. And again, even using the analogy that I use about the car, it's the same thing. If someone wants to learn how to drive, they need to have the goal, I want to learn how to drive. They need to have the plan, the lessons, they need to have the support, the driving instructor in them. Do you see what I mean? That is the key, literally, using like key cards. That's the key to any type of success. But just before you go on, Aaron, because I think that this will be pretty good. We've got Tanya, Edwards, 1977. She says, "How can you set structure in a busy life, kids, husband, household, life, both working from home. So, and that's because I knew that you'd be able to give a good answer here. I hope she's still on board with it, but even still, if she's not, it'll be good for people to hear. So what would your answer be to that?
So here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a mum, a chef, a DJ, a fireman, Boris Johnson, you know, me or you, a mother. It makes absolutely no difference. Let me give you the absolute facts. This is how it works. This is it. There is no multitude of answers or results. This is the best way to do it. It's proven. It's a method. I'm doing it now. I'll send you the videos of the people that are radically transforming their lives. It's as simple as this. The only way for you to gain control, for anyone to create success in their life, is you can't find time. You have to make time.
Yes, there we go. Exactly. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day.
Yeah. Now, let's put some context around this as well, right? Okay, so make time out. And that sounds great, but what does that mean? Well, this is it. You need to get up. You need to get fucking bed. You need to go to bed earlier, and you need to get up earlier.
Get up earlier.
Why is that? Why is that? Well, it's a really good question as well. Let me answer that for you. The reason why is because the only time that you're going to have to yourself is not when everyone's been awake for hours and they're stressed out. Is at the very beginning of your day. So I get up at 5 a.m. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day at the moment, and my business is closed. Why? Well, because it makes no difference to me, because how I perform as a human, it doesn't matter about my business or what's going on with the world. It's how do I turn up every day and be the best version of myself. So what you have to do is you have to make those 2 hours. And this is the coaching platform. I'll give you some gospel stuff here. So this is what you do. You wake up 2 hours before you have to be anywhere else. Okay, so you wake up 2 hours before you have to be anywhere else. Why? Obvious reasons. Because you want to make sure you're giving yourself the time to give back to you, so you then don't have to do giving back to everyone else. It's like waking up in the morning and you've got to fill your cup up. Yeah, you've got to fill your cup up before you start filling up everyone else's cup. Because that time that you have in the morning is critical, and it's your time to be a great mum. You can't be a great mum waking up and be on top of your game if you've given yourself 5 seconds to get out of bed or you're snoozing the alarm. You just can't. You're struggling like that. So what you need to do is give yourself that time, but understand that this is time for you. And then what you do is you do these 4 simple things, and this is the game changer. This is the practical. And listen, if you do this, diet's not an issue. Diet's not an issue. You will never have any issues of any habits, providing that you set your foundations up at the very beginning of the day. Number 1, you set an alarm clock 2 hours before you've got to be anywhere. Why? Because then you give yourself the time. And you beat the brain. You get out of bed on the first one, okay? So you have to get out of bed on the first alarm. You've got to get out on the first alarm. Number 2, you then have a pint of water. I always have a 1.5 litre bottle here, and I drink as much as I can to wake up the stomach. Number 3, you go for a run. You're not running for the run, you're running for the chemical state change in your brain, because as the endorphins release, you become more productive, happier, better state, meaning all your decisions are 200% more effective, better, empowered, therefore afterwards. And then the best bit, and I don't know if you do this, my man, but then you go and have a freezing cold shower, okay? And you jump in there and you do it for 60 seconds. And having a 60-second cold shower, you're not doing it for the cold shower. You're doing it to wake up the central nervous system in the back of the spinal cord. That's the equivalent to having 14 espressos, meaning that you're a happier person, more productive. You can cope with anything better. And then if you wanted to, you could get into the meditation and stuff afterwards to bring awareness. But they're the 4 basic things that you need to do. 1 hour at least waking up, or 2 hours if you really want to give yourself a lot of time. And then you do those 4 practical things, and then every single day you'll have a much better day, I promise you.
That's really great advice. I mean, and the thing that I find really incredible with it is that, because it's people have said it here, it's finding time, creating time, but you've hit the nail on the head there. You've got to just wake up earlier, and if that means you go to bed earlier, then it's worth it, because you're really de-stressing yourself. Because if you're giving yourself more time for you, that's giving you more time to just be able to just have that sort of self-love, have that time to think about things, and then make the sort of right decisions. Whereas if you wake up later, then it's like you're instantly in that rushed panic zone, and you've not been able to have that de-stress time. So it all comes down to how you set your day up right. And you've seen here from what Aaron's brilliantly and happily shared here, how important that process is. But I have to say to the viewers, how many of you even have thought about doing things like this before? How many of you just wake up and rush to the first thing? Or this is the thing, the start of the day is what is making it harder for you. You know, I mean, is that something that you sort of like are happy that you've been able to sort of get out there to people?
Here you go. This is it. This is, look, listen, the reason I say that no one's going to get up early unless there's a, look, let me help you. This is really going to help you. If you need a little bit more context around this to help you, this is how you do it. Now, number one, the thing that drives you to make decisions, okay, the thing you do, look, Shima, I've been doing Aaron's challenge for 2 weeks and I can say it's changed my mindset considerably, helps me focus throughout the day. Yeah, loads of love, Shima. It all comes down to this number one thing, and you must have had, my man, massive amounts of this. The thing that drives your behavior, it's nothing to do with the food. It's nothing to do with the food. It's nothing to do with your, it all comes down to this one thing. Reasons first, answer second. When you're clearly defined about why you're doing something.
Yes, your why. Yeah.
That removes what it is that you're doing. So, for example, if you really want to get self-motivated, I'm massive on life coach, and I think the value in having a coach and having someone that can help you get to A to B is just mind-blowing. But it all comes down to what your reasons are. Your reasons drive your behavior. So it's reasons first, number one, action second. So if you're in a position, again, here's something really tangible for you, where you're not hitting your goal with your diet. That's the most tangible one I hear about the most.
Mm-hmm.
You need to write down all the reasons why you need to do this. And what you'll find, you'll go through the kind of the preliminary, because I need to look fit, I need to look better, I need to be a better mother, all that crap. And that's all the conscious thinking part of it. And then you get down into the point of actually how you really feel about yourself.
Yeah.
I really fucking hate who I am. I've been failing with this for the last 10 years because I've got low self-esteem and I don't like the way I look. And whatever your reasons are, they're your reasons. But unless you write these down and you really communicate to your brain through NLP, which is, you know, how we learn. So you write it down, you read it, and you learn it, and you reprogram it. Unless you actually put pen to paper about the reasons. I mean, you don't need a coach, you don't need me. You just need to get big enough reasons. If your reasons are overwhelming, you will eliminate any goal you've got ahead of you. And I always say, start there first.
And I think, and this is the thing, especially with us as coaches, sort of in the fitness world, but it's also any type of coach that's worth their salt.
Worth their salt.
Your why is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to be, because a lot of people always talk about, I'm not motivated. Motivation is just the thing that gets you started with something. It's not big enough to get you to your goal. What is big enough is what Aaron said here, your why. If you truly do not like a situation you're in, that should be enough reason for you to really want to change it. So once you understand what it is that you don't like about the situation, so is it that you don't like how you look in the mirror? Is it the fact that you want to be healthier for yourself and your kids and your family? You want to live that longer, like whatever that why is, because as Aaron said, that's individual to you. Once you're able to identify that, that is going to be your driving force to make this happen. And then that's where it's a case of understanding the thing that I like to call action changes things.
Nice. I like that. I haven't heard of that before. That's good.
It's actually my Motivation Monday on my post. So yes, but that's the thing. It's if we don't take action, nothing's going to change. And it also comes down to a thing of comfort zones. And this is a thing that a lot of people will talk about, that, oh, this thing's outside my comfort zone. But the problem is, a comfort zone is only comfortable if you feel comfortable in it. I know that's a lot of almost double negatives, but the point is, most people don't feel comfortable in their comfort zone. So it's not really comfortable. So why are you staying in there? Why are you limiting yourself when you know that you deserve better and want better?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then it comes down to that we all need to take that action to get out of that. And it comes down to that, as Aaron said, it's the habits. Our habits are the thing that's going to keep us where we are or make us go to that next level that we deserve and that we can get to. So it's understanding that, being able to change our habits from the bad habits that's keeping us from where we are to better habits being Aaron starting the day right, and then being able to make better decisions that are going to get us to this clearly defined goal that you say you want, be it that you want to lose a certain amount of weight, be it that you want to be strong in a certain way, be it that you want to get a certain lifestyle, whatever that goal is. Once you set this type of structure in your life, it then starts to become something that you can just keep on working on day by day by day, and you'll start to see these results happen. And that's how I've created my physique, because I've just done things day by day. I've not went, okay, in 2 weeks I want to be like this, in a month I want to be like that. No, just you understand the process is the process, and you've just got to stick with that, and you will eventually get there. So it does come down to sort of that type of structure. So, I mean, is there anything else you sort of like want to add on? Oh, before you do that, I mean, I think Tanya Edwards says, "Oh, I've totally had my confidence knocked by a PT." I mean, things like this I find really hard to read. But I mean, in terms, we won't even necessarily just go with PT, but in terms of coaches, I mean, what is it you feel that people really need to have with a coach, or to know the type of coach that is the right coach? Because
Tanya, is it? Yeah, I think this is pretty simple, right? Look, if you're listening and you've listened to what I said so far, you can't, if you don't try something new, you're only going to look at the past experiences. Your brain's designed to look backwards. So Tanya, listen, the amount of bad relationships I've had that have failed, you know.
That's a very good example to use. Brilliant, I like that.
I've had so many failed relationships. I'm a professional at failed relationships. I'm so good at failed relationships. It's unbelievable. I've got awards. I've actually got a Nobel Prize for failed relationships. LovingLife.com. But I now met the love of my life, a lady called Zoe. But if I would have carried on with the fear of memories and failures that I had in the past, I would never have tried something new. And it's only when you get into that letting go theory, where you just let go of your expectations. That's the biggest thing that's holding you back right now, is letting go of your expectations. Just let go of those expectations and try something new with an open mind and an open heart. And you'll find two things what I would recommend. Number one, you never ever judge the future based on the past, because that's
exactly
right.
Yeah.
But number two, you've got to find someone that speaks to your soul. You know,
exactly.
I've got a load of women at my studio and with my trainers, and some of them don't fucking like me, and that's okay. I'm all right with that, because I've got trainers that they do like, because I'm not trying to be anything other than just authentic. But the people that do work with me, they love me, and they love my energy, and they relate to me. So you've got to find someone, first and foremost, that you can relate to. That's the biggest thing. Find someone that you can relate to. And the biggest thing, and this is, I've got to give you this, right? So I saw something, the law of attraction. Have you seen it, my friends?
No, I've not seen it. No.
You might have seen it.
I know the premise of a law of attraction, if that's what the movie is sort of about.
Yeah, it's the law of attraction. It's basically the energy that you give out, you'll attract back what manifest what you want. Now, if you're manifesting already right now that, you know, you've had a bad experience, you're already setting your expectations up for failure, because you're putting a negative association with something that in actual fact has no relevance to the future. Right? So you just got to call yourself out sometimes and go, what am I talking about? Why would you got to call yourself out. You've got to dig yourself out a little bit, because the most important thing is actually being a self-coach, being your own mentor.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, right? And, you know, self-critiquing yourself in a positive way to get the very best out of every single day. But find someone that you can relate to. Never, ever, ever judge past experiences on future events. Because how you act, and this is the law of attraction, is action. That's the summarized challenge. It's action first, then thinking.
Yeah.
Get yourself into a great state first, and then think as much as you want in a better state. You know?
Yeah, and again, that's why it comes to action change things. But the reason why what you said there with relationships, the reason why that's beautiful, because it just, you've disappeared a bit. But the reason why that, I know. But the reason why that's beautiful is that a lot of people understand, because the whole point of that really there is people want to have that love, yeah, but to have that love, you have to put yourself out there.
Hard, man. It's hard.
And it will mean for most people, or almost everyone, that they're going to have a relationship that doesn't work, and that might be painful. But the point is you learn the lesson from that, and that's what makes you stronger for next time. Or you should learn the lesson from that. But the point is that because you've had a bad relationship, that doesn't mean that you don't go and try to get a relationship or a better relationship. So this is why, to that message there, that's saying that they had a PT that didn't work for them past, or that it was a bad experience. That was that PT. Again, as you said, you need to find someone that works to your sensibilities, just like you need to get a partner that works to your sensibilities. Just because you have a bad relationship doesn't mean that you just don't go out with anyone else ever again. It's the same type of thing. That's why it's such a beautiful analogy.
I think Tanya, it's really hard, my love, and I really feel for you because before I went to Rishikesh in India, I really needed to change who I was as a human. I wanted to transform myself. I'll show you here. I've got my calendar. This is my 90-day transformation of what I'm personally going through on my habits. And this is my desk. This is what I do every single day. And, you know, I pull things to pieces, you know, because whenever you're trying to radically transform yourself, you've got to go 100% in. But,
yeah, before you go, because I'll say this, because I'm sure that people find this funny.
Go for it.
It's like you can't half-ass anything. Use the whole ass.
Yeah, you got it, mother. Well, no, I mean, you can half-ass it, but when you're not where you need to be, the only person you can blame is you, right?
Exactly.
So I think to end it on like a positive note and to give you context again, because I like deliverables, I like action points. Yeah. Like, Aaron, that's great, I love your talk, but give me something to take away rather than just how you feel about everything, right? Now, when it comes to the relationships, first and foremost, the only damage that person does, that PT does, that external person does, the only issue, the only damage they really do, they could rob you, cheat on you, do whatever they need to do. The only person who's really damaged, the only person is them. Because what we're talking about here is the cause and effect of emotions. And when someone does damage to someone else or does something bad, the only person that registers with is them. It doesn't register with the other person because they don't know half the other time. It sits inside that internal dialogue of that person, and they have to live with that. So Tanya, my lovely lady, the fact that you've been hurt in some way, listen, my love, that's fantastic. Because that shows you that you've got a great heart. And all you need to do is just give love, darling. Just give as much love. Just keep giving love and don't want for anything back. And just be aware that you've got to use the nudges, the little nudges I call them, little nudges. You've got to be aware of when things are going on. You need to act on them. You need to put yourself in a position where you're looking after yourself. And if you just give love, I've got so much great stuff coming at me. I've got a TV show with ITV that just pitched me for the Sunrise Challenge. I've got better client success. I've got an amazing partner. I've got a beautiful house. I've got, you know, money in the bank. I've got bloody petrol in the tank, and I've got a great smile on my face every single day because I'm just giving so effortlessly to people around me because I just want to help people. And if you do that with your heart in any capacity, you're always going to attract the right people. You know, like with you, for example, I've never met you before. We're good friends now.
Yeah.
This came from the recommendation from another person because because I'm a good person. I like helping people. And that's the key. Just give your heart out. Don't worry about getting hurt. If someone hurts you, they're hurting themselves first and foremost, and you hold your head high. And then, just wake up every morning, take control, set your foundations up, give yourself the best opportunity of being the very best version of yourself, and then just smile. You're winning.
And I think just, again, comes back to what you said before about people, their brain is there to protect them. So people don't want the pain of failure, the pain of heartbreak and all this stuff, which obviously makes sense. But then I'll use this analogy that I used when I first started doing stuff like Instagram live chats, because before I was actually very shy doing these things, which people might not think. But again, you learn. But I call it the baby analogy. So let's say you've got a baby. It's sitting there and it sees people walking and it's determined that it wants to walk. Yeah. So obviously it's crawling and it tries to walk. It stands, falls down. It tries again, stands, falls down. Tries again, stands, falls down. And its parents will look at it, or even other people around, and just might actually start laughing at the baby. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like, oh, look at my baby. It's trying to walk, all this to everything. But the baby is undeterred. It's solely driven to it wants to walk. So again, it stands up, tries to fall down. Stands up, falls down. After a few months of doing this, one day it stands and starts walking. What happens? The parents are like, oh my God, my baby's walking, my smart baby. These were the same parents that were mocking it before. The point I'm trying to make is that, yes, you have to get up and you might fall and fail, but in failure, you become stronger. And in failure, if you keep on with that same drive and the same goal to walk as his baby, you're going to get there. And then you're going to get it's not even about getting the applause, but it's just the people there will go, oh, it's really good what this guy's done, but they might not necessarily have given you the support that you needed then, but that's okay, because if you are solely driven by the goal that you want, you can get there, just like this baby. So if anything, be more like a baby. Think about only one thing, and the thing is what you want to achieve.
That's nice.
That's a bit of an analogy.
Good. I like the baby analogy. And Tanya, I mean, if tonight, if through this, this lengthy talk that we've done today, if there was only one person, Tanya, that we helped, and it was you, and if you took away from this something that you could practically, if there's any one of you here right now, just one person that is able to just take something away and go, do you know what, I can do that, and I believe more, and I can be more. If that's it, I'm happy, and I'm sure you are. We're happy that we could just do one. If we could just help one person tonight, this was worth it. So I hope you take away the context of this, that you can absolutely ascertain anything you want in life. Depression, happiness, financial weight. You can attain anything you want for a set of habits that you set up. It's the habits that are the disassociation between who you want to be and who you are right now. It's just the habits. But find the right goal. Make sure the goal actually excites you. You want it. Number two, make sure you find a plan that guarantees that goal and is proven to have done so. Number three, you get the right support system with a coach, for example. And then it's just action. You just take massive, colossal action and you're there. That's it. I'm out. If there was a mic, I dropped it. Boom.
Yeah, you did. And that's it's that sort of like 3-step approach. And I mean, there's so much that we really could sort of like talk on. I mean, I think we've only got now, we've got just under 10 minutes here, so we can sort of like do a little bit more before this sort of shuts off. But I'll definitely need to get you on again, in this sort of like quarantine fitness in life, because I think we can sort of give some real value. There's more value to extract from you, but this is why I think at this sort of time when people are maybe restless at home, kind of thinking that, oh, I can't go out and do certain things, I'm bored at home. This is where you should be thinking, what is it you want to achieve in life? What are your goals? And then use what Aaron has said here. What are your goals? Get the plan, get the support, and then you can make anything happen. Even if it's something that someone hates this lockdown and starts a YouTube channel, I'm sure people would probably even watch that because they feel the same way. The point is that we are in a time here where a lot of people now actually have more time than they would have ever had. It's now up to us to make use of that and create the future that we really want with it. So I think that's really the beauty. And this is the thing I want to really get out of this lockdown, of this quarantine fitness and life type thing, that life is about our own self-creation. But right now we've got the time to really actually start to create ourselves with this. I mean, is that something you agree with?
I mean, put it like, here we go. Let's simplify it, right? Here's a watch. The only thing you've got in terms of the most valuable commodity that you have on the planet is time. It's the only fucking thing you can't get back. Yep.
I'll use another analogy after this, but go.
All you've got is, it's the most valuable asset because time, you can't get it back. And it's the one thing at the very, 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 very end of the lifespan of every person. And I'll chuck in some things here, right? I've been through a very tough upbringing as a kid. Like, I lost a brother, I grew up with murders around me, I grew up in a very drug-orientated environment, I've been in gangs, I've nearly been in prison 3 times. I mean, when I say like transformation, like I've done it. I'm not just talking about I changed my decisions of not eating a Snickers to a Kit Kat bar, or I decided to just be a better person. No, I went through radical transformations based off of some extreme scenarios and extreme situations. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people, and that's why my fucking energy is so high, because my why is so big. Because
exactly.
I know my experiences. Now, right now, don't fucking waste time sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, because the only person that really cares about you is you. The only person that cares about your problems is you. The only person that cares about your success is you. And the only person that can really change the situation they're currently in right now is you. There's no one else. So whether you're listening to a lady talking about her diet, whether you're talking to a guy about bodybuilding, whether you're talking to me about how to transform your mornings, the only person that truly has the power to change who you are is you. But it all starts with your reasons. You've got to have compelling reasons. Now, who the fuck's going to get up at 5 a.m. every morning? I never. So I have my business. I only went to work 2 days a week. Like about 6 months ago, I was going into my company about 2 days a week, and I'd let materialism and money and things and all these things kind of get a grip of me a little bit because I wasn't happy in who I was. So I was looking for external factors to enlighten my brain, you know, to give me the feed that I needed. But what I really was lacking was fulfillment. I was very unhappy as a human. You know, I couldn't maintain any relationships. I was drinking and partying every single weekend, and I was wasting time because I didn't have the information. That no one was talking to me like I'm talking to you right now. No one was going, look, you've only got limited time right now. Use it. You've got a small window of opportunity right now to pull your shit together and to fucking do something radically different. Like, you only have a small window of time. Don't moan about the fact you're in a country that provides an NHS, that you even have that. Don't moan about the fact that you've got a house to live in. Don't moan about the fact that you've got warmth. Don't moan about the fact you've got family. Stop fucking moaning and use your time effectively, because the only thing you're going to do is, whilst you're sitting in bed moaning, there's someone out there working. Whilst you're sitting there being depressed, there's someone out there being happy. Whilst you're sitting there thinking, finding all the problems and solutions, I'm out there finding solutions and problems. Problems and solutions, solutions and problems. So you've got to use the time that you've got right now. If you've got anything you really want to do, like really want to do, now's the time where you've got the free thinking space for you to start actually focusing on what it is you want to fucking do. And then just, all I can say to you is, you just go all in. You give it everything you've got. Because if you're going to fail at trying to get what you really want in life.
Exactly.
Honestly, fail at what you really want. I used to be a professional dancer. I had a dance company in Ibiza for a couple of years. So I know what it's like to be a nocturnal. I know what it's like to not want to get out of bed. I know what it's like to party hard. And I know what it's like to be that person that says they're going to do one thing, but never backs it up. I've been that person for such a long time. And if that's you, I even applaud you to stay there for a little bit. Sit in your pity, sit in your self-wallow, sit in that pain, sit in that frustration until you get to the point where you need to where you need to change. Where you get to that point where you're like, that's it, I'm done now. I can't deal. When you're at that breaking point, it's okay to keep, if you're not at that breaking point right now, keep drinking alcohol, eating shit food. Get yourself into that point where you really fucking have to change, because the peak of transformation psychologically for you, scientifically backed up in this situation, is when people are in an altered state. And that is personified in two situations. Number one, when you're in peak state, which hardly any of us ever are. Or number two, we're in a fearful state in pain. And that painful state, like for example, when you split up with an ex, that's when you go to the gym. That's when your diet becomes there. That's when you start going, oh, that's it. I'm never going to. That's when all the big emotion and the energy comes from. That's okay. If you know you've got to get down to that point for you to get that hunger back, do that. Because like I can tell you right now, when you're hungry for success, you remove objections. Yeah. And whether it's your diet, okay, well, have a shit diet then. Keep having a shit diet. Put some weight on. Get fat. Get really fat. Get as fat as you can possibly get, to the point where you're sick and tired of looking in the mirror and lying to yourself. And you're sick. That's what I do with my business. That's why I've made successful companies. That's why I've got my stuff going. Because I used to understand that the motivation had to come from pain. The only difference is now I understand the motivation comes from desire, but massive action. You don't have to go to that pain point, but if you need to, you need to. If you need to go there, go there. But either way, action is the biggest determinator before who you are and where you need to be. So that's it. Mic number 2, John. I'm off.
That's a great way to sort of end this, sir. In the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that with money and all these material things, they can always be replaced, but time can't. So we all need to use our time wisely and use it for things that we love and our dreams. So I think that's us coming to the end of this, because I'm about to finish up. But thank you, Aaron, and I'd urge people to follow Aaron at Aaron Smile. I think that's your Instagram handle. Yep. So I urge you to follow him, and if there's any questions you guys have, then I'm sure Aaron will be happy to answer them, and you can DM me myself at O Physique Creation, and we're both happy to help. This is about to end. This has been me, Nana, at O Physique Creation. we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for that, Aaron. I'll get you on soon. Right.
Thanks.
Cheers. Good night, everyone.